All right, hey, this is Steve. Welcome back to the channel. We are working on the tracks on our IS1 to IS2 conversion. As you can see, I've got the first set on, and what I've done with this is I've got it on one run, and what that allowed me to do is to pop this off and paint it, then put it back on. On the second side, I am going to use a little bit different method. I'm going to do two runs. And I'm going to first put the lower run on, wrap it around, let it set, and then put the upper run on and paint it in two pieces. One of the things about these Russian tracks is they're two-piece. You've got one with a guide horn, then you've got what I call a blank piece, and then it just goes. What you just need to be careful of is each piece, whether it's a blank or a guide horn, will fit into each other, so you can end up building a run of tracks instead of having them every other, where you'll just have a run of guide horns or a run of blanks. I don't know why the Russians did this. It would have made more sense just to crank out one track link of the same type with a guide horn, but those zany Russians. So what I've started with, I'm using a cement glue from, I think it's AK, because I couldn't get any Tamiya thin set. I've got the run laid out, and I've glued each track. I've let it set for the length of a cup of tea for my wife and a bowl of cereal. So I'm assuming that's about 10, 15 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on, get it centered, and I'm gonna wrap the track. What I've done is I've glued the drive sprockets so I won't have any movement there. Normally the drive sprockets are movable, and to me, it just, if things are spinning around on it, it just makes it harder. So what I'll do is I will grab, I think I've got a small ruler here amongst all the mess, and I'll just press down a little bit, pick it up. I may have to just to get it into the sprocket, and I'll bring it around. And what I want to do is I want to set it up for the connection to the upper run. So I just want it pointed forward, and I want to get the right amount of tension on it, because the drive sprocket will be picking up the track, so it'll be taut. So we've got that. Some guys use rubber band. I have never been able to use rubber bands. The other thing is, I really like link and length track, because you can it just saves all the tedium of just building a lot of individual tracks. So this is what we've got. I've got this. I'm just going to make sure this sets up right. I may get a bit of tension on the rear, bring that up, try to get this pointed in the right direction. I think that'll do it. I want to get a good wrap. And what you really want is you want to make sure that it's pulling up at the right spot on the road wheel. So let me just do a bit of adjusting. That'll get, and I think that will get that point in the right direction. I looked at the instructions before I started, and it said it was 88 links per side. Now, I built up 88 links, and it was just too much. 80 is probably what you want, and you can always add and subtract from there. But this is where I'm at. I'm just gonna, again, tighten this up, because I want to get a good wrap on that. And this will set, and at some point I will build the top run. So, and that's where we're at. Now, link and length, I think, is the way to go. There's a lot of good vinyl track out there that's gluable, and it's pretty amazing. Individual track links are for, I don't know. It's just tedious if you've got to clean up 88 per side and stick them all together. But everybody has their own poison. So for this, I think I've got it. Let me just take a look from the side. I'll just pick it up. And I think I want to get that. It's hard, especially around the round the round return, idler, because you've got flat surfaces. You're trying to look going around a circular wheel. I guess all wheels are circular, to be honest. But so we'll try to pick that up again. I just want to get it nice and tight, nice and straight, and bring that around. And again, we got it pointed to our top run. So our top run, let me see here. I think that's where I'm losing it. It's right there. I'll just press that in there. It's funny. Normally, when you do this, you're not doing it. You're not filming it. So you're not really worried about getting it in within a certain time. But I think, let me see here. Now the other side's acting up. Let's see if I can just be happy if I can just get that guy to cooperate. And I think, yeah, I think we're there. So at some point, I'm going to do the top run, and I'll figure out. And you can, as far as getting things to line up, like I said, the Russians with track tension, there's a lot of slop in the track, and it looks cool between the road wheels, but it was actually like that. So that'll do it. That'll do it for the moment. I'd like to thank my wife for putting down her cornflakes and her tea to join me on this. You guys have a great weekend. We've had some great weather here in southern France finally. It's been 40 degrees. I don't know what that is in old money. I think it's just hot now. But thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you when we get the top run done. Steve out. Thank you.